Hello everyone, so I have some recent satellite imagery of the Black Sea Fleet with these images shared by MT Anderson on Twitter. They show Sevastopol, Novorossiysk and Feodasia Harbor around Crimea and the Black Sea. So in these images we can get a good overview of the ships currently active, and it also gives us an update on some of the other ships such as the Bora-class hovercraft that was damaged a couple of weeks ago. But it fails to shed light on the mystery of the missing ship Olenegorsky Gornyak. I'll come to that later. First, let's start with Feodasia Harbor. Now, I don't think I've looked at this place in the past. This is located here, the eastern part of Crimea, not too far from the Crimean Bridge, and not far from Novorossiysk. This is important when we take a look at the ships here. Now, these images again were shared by MT Anderson on Twitter. So firstly, it needs to be said, this looks like the tetanus hotspot of the Black Sea Fleet. Check out the rust on many of the ships docked here. I'm not sure if this is a storage site for old wrecks now being used as a makeshift naval base or what, but many of these ships, I think they are civilian ones, you can see certainly look a bit hazardous. So parked here, we have a Ropucha-class landing ship berthed at the top. Now, I think we all know what they are, since they're pretty much the whipping boy of the Black Sea Fleet, and we've seen these a lot. So I won't go through too much about them, as we all know what these are all about. Now, I have to wonder, could this one be the Olenegorsky Gornyak, the ship holed by Ukraine by a marine drone back in August? If you remember, Russian shills shared images of a Ropucha-class ship back at Sevastopol shortly after the Minsk was destroyed in a dry dock and claimed it to be the Gornyak. There was no way to tell if that was the case, as these Ropucha-class ships all look the same. The Black Sea Fleet has 9 Ropucha-class ships, and we will see if these are all accounted for in these satellite images. Now, I speculated at the time that the Gornyak may have been patched and moved to Sevastopol for more specialised repairs in the dry dock there. A plan which was scuppered by the destruction of the Minsk, blocking the major dry dock at Sevastopol. But could this here be the Gornyak, moved out of Novorossiysk for whatever reason? Personally, I just can't see a reason for moving it out of dry dock to here, as there aren't any repair facilities. I think this ship is just, basically, dropping off supplies. We'll see the locations of more Ropucha-class ships soon. We also have a pair of Alexandrit-class minesweepers, a fairly new class of ship. 3 are confirmed to be part of the Black Sea Fleet as part of the 150th Minesweeper Task Force. Now, given the location, these look to be part of the ships tasked with patrolling the Crimean Bridge and protecting both the bridge and the tankers nearby from Ukraine's marine drones. These are armed with a 6-barrel 30mm autocannon. Sandwiched between the Alexandrit-class ships, we have a Karakurt-class ship as well. This is a new class of missile corvette and can be fitted with Caliber or Onyx missiles. The Black Sea Fleet's 166th Novorossiysk Small Missile Boat Division operates one of these and have a second undergoing sea trials. Finally, at the bottom, we have a Buyan-class corvette. 4 of these are in service with the Black Sea Fleet, 1 deployed in the Mediterranean. It's a corvette capable of launching Caliber missiles. Let's move on to Novorossiysk. First, Novorossiysk's location is here. So again, not too far from the Crimean Bridge. This is a base we have looked at in the past, and it's one of Russia's key Black Sea bases. Here is an overview of the base itself, so a number of ships are visible. In this first image, MT Anderson focuses on the submarine bay, and this is quite interesting. It seems the bulk of Russia's Kilo-class submarine fleet have been moved to Novorossiysk since the Rostov-on-Don got a new sunroof courtesy of Storm Shadow. 3 Kilos are seen here. The Black Sea Fleet had 7. 1 is in a shipyard in the Baltic for repairs, 1, the Krasnodar, is deployed in the Mediterranean, and 1, the Rostov-on-Don, is in a coma in Sevastopol. So Russia has 4 active in the Black Sea, 3 here. 1, we will see if it appears on a later satellite image. We can also see an Admiral Grigorovich-class frigate berthed near the submarine pen. This is the Admiral Makarov. This was promoted to fleet flagship after the Moskva transitioned to submarine. It's a guided missile frigate and one of the ships which Russia uses to launch Caliber missiles. Now, some media have reported it has recently returned to surface after being damaged by Ukrainian drones in October. But we never saw the Makarov in dry dock, so any damage would have been slight. Plus, we have seen the Makarov leave harbour since then and potter around, so I think the damage was minimal, and this has been back in active service for a while. Here, a zoomed in section of more ships at Novorossiysk. Of special interest are the three Ropucha-class ships, one of which looks like it caught syphilis, and is certainly looking in a rough condition with visible rust on its deck. For those keeping count, that's now 4 out of 9 Ropucha-class ships accounted for. Next to two of the Ropuchas we have our Ivan Gren-class ship. The Ivan Gren is this, a large landing ship and the successor to the Ropucha-class. The Black Sea Fleet doesn't actually officially operate these, but one, the Pyotr Morganov, was transferred here from the Northern Fleet. Russia uses these and the Ropucha-class as transport ships, ferreting supplies between Russia itself and Novorossiysk to Crimea. So these are important targets, it's why Ukraine has targeted them a lot. Novorossiysk is a Project 2216 patrol ship. 4 of these are active, the Vasily Baikov, the Dmitry Rogachev, the Pavel Derzavin, and the Sergei Kotov. Now this is quite interesting. The Sergei Kotov was reported hit by a Ukrainian naval drone on the 14th of September, with some rumours saying that it was badly damaged or even sunk. So I'll be very interested to see if all of these Project 2216s can be accounted for in these satellite images. So far, we have 1 out of 4. This one likely carrying out patrol routes near the Crimean Bridge. Next up is a Gornyak-class minesweeper. The Black Sea Fleet only has 1 of these, the Antale something, which I can't pronounce. These are attached to the 170th Minesweeper Division. There are also a pair of Buyanem-class patrol boats seen here. We saw 1 at Feodasia, so 3 out of 4 are accounted for. And a class we haven't looked at today, a Grisha 3 class corvette. Here's an image of one of the Lithuanian Navy. 86 of these were built overall, of all the Grisha classes. These are anti-submarine corvettes armed with dual-purpose guns, torpedoes, and anti-submarine rockets. 3 Grishas are in service with the 149th Anti-Submarine Ship Task Force. So that's it for Novorossiysk. You can also spot an assortment of smaller, unidentified utility craft, tugs, maintenance ships and the like scattered around as well. Now, let's move on to the big and main harbour, Sevastopol. So this first image is from the frigate pier. Here, first of all we can see 1 Bora-class ship. Remember, one of these was reported hit by Ukraine and seen on a photo sagging at the rear not long ago. Another was seen on the same day in dry dock undergoing maintenance. Well, one of them is back in service as it's seen at the frigate pier, parked next to a single Ropucha-class ship. So a recap on the Ropucha numbers: 1 at Feodasia, 1 here at Sevastopol so far, 3 at Novorossiysk, and 1 is destroyed, the Minsk, so we have 3 unaccounted for. And remember, this is important because one of them, which was hit by Ukraine, the Gornyak, has disappeared, with Russia claiming it's back in service, so satellite imagery may tell whether that is actually true or not. I don't think it is, because I just can't see how it could be repaired and put back into service in such a short span of time. Further to the right still, a pair of Krivat-class frigates, our first encounter with these today. The Black Sea Fleet only has 2. These aren't as major a threat as the Admiral Grigorovich-class because they don't operate Caliber or Onyx. Instead, they carry Rastrub anti-ship and anti-submarine missiles as well as SAM missiles, so they do play an important role in air defence of Sevastopol. Next image, Pivdena Bay, the refuelling pier and the sub-pen. Now first and foremost we have the sightings of 2 Ropucha-class ships, 1 at Pivdena Bay, 1 is at the refuelling pier. This is the last image, other than the one in dry dock of these which I have. And so, the last sighting of a Ropucha. If you're keeping tally, that makes 7, plus 1, the Minsk, destroyed at dry dock. So that's 8 of 9. So 1 is still missing. Now that could be because it's transiting between harbours, of course, so isn't picked up on the images. But it is suspicious that since the Olenegorsky Gornyak was removed from Novorossiysk dry dock, we haven't been able to get confirmation of the whereabouts of all 9 Ropucha-class landing craft at the same time. A few people have speculated that it's been scuttled, but I think it may be one of the Ropuchas now at Sevastopol, not back in service, but likely moved there, with the intention of putting it in dry dock once the Minsk left to undergo specialised repairs. but we are going to have to wait and see if we can get satellite imagery of all 8 Ropucha-class ships remaining at the same time to be sure. Another interesting one here is the second Bora-class hovercraft. This confirms that both of these are repaired and operational. Below the Bora, the Ivan Kurz, a ship which had a lucky escape not long ago, when a marine drone hit it but didn't cause any damage. In the subpen, the final Kilo-class submarine. So all of these are now accounted for, and it's interesting to see that most of the subfleet have been moved to Novorossiysk now. In the ammo pier, a Tarantul-class ship. These are small missile boats with 4 in service with the 195th Sulinsk Missile Boat Division. Finally, a look at the dry dock, so we can see the Minsk and the Rostov-on-Don have now been covered with tarpaulins. The Minsk is a complete write-off. Remember, its surface structure collapsed inwards and it was gutted by fire. Russia claims the Rostov-on-Don is repairable, but I doubt it, given the 2 holes and the damage it received. The other dry docks you can see are empty. One of the Boras was in here early September, so now it's been moved, so these are free to repair any ships. And finally, we can also see an image of a Black Sea Fleet HQ after the Storm Shadow visit, so pretty much resembling the Minsk now, blackened and full of holes. Now, you may have noticed we didn't spot the final pair of Project 2216 patrol boats. Now, this isn't confirmation that one was sunk. They could be out on patrol because they do patrol in pairs typically, or even in a section of Sevastopol not photographed by satellite imagery. But its status is still up in the air until we get satellite imagery confirmation, or confirmation of all 4, or even a photo or video of it at Sevastopol. Finally here, we have a nice graphic showing the Black Sea Fleet ships and the ones destroyed. So far destroyed are the Moskva, hit by Neptune, the Saratov, hit by Tuchkyu, Minsk, hit by Storm Shadow, the Rostov-on-Don, hit by Storm Shadow, and the armed tug Vasily Bek, hit by Harpoon. So Storm Shadow is winning the race to sink as many ships as possible so far. The Gornyak, you can notice, isn't blacked out. I expect because it wasn't fully sunk and was merely damaged, but damaged quite badly. But pretty embarrassing, losing 3 large surface vessels, a submarine, a large armed tug, not to mention other losses of ships and boats not shown here, like the Cerner-class landing craft sunk near Snake Island and the Raptor patrol boats. All these ship and boat losses in a land war, and to a country which doesn't have a navy. Pretty embarrassing. Now before we finish, I mention the ongoing fundraiser with Rebirth Energy, who are raising money for a Volkswagen T4 for the 57th Separate Motorised Infantry Brigade. The goal is $5,700 and there's just $500 left to go, so this one's nearly over. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching the video, and take care everybody.